people, what you lot saying? It's been a while since I did a video on YouTube, so I thought I'd just jump on, see how everyone's doing, seeing it's Friday. It's actually Black Friday as well. I was saying this on my TikTok the other day, no, actually yesterday, that obviously for whoever is new to this channel, and it's the last time I'm gonna say it because I said I wouldn't mention it, but last year tried to start an e-commerce store, failed, went broke, had to leave London, moved to Liverpool. Now I'm building a new brand. Okay, we've got that bit out of the way. However, Black Friday and Q4 was detrimental to my downfall. So I'll quickly break down the story just to give you some insight. But basically, if you don't know, Q4 is the busiest time of the year for e-commerce because there's so many sales. You've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, bloody Christmas, Halloween, whatever. There's all these crazy sales that you can run. So it's the best time, especially like now because it's Black Friday week, you know, Cyber Monday. Like you can really make a lot of money in e-com because everyone is in the buying mood, right? However, me and my newbie self, seeing I had just started e-com, I didn't really know what I was doing. However, I saw everyone talking about, oh, you have to make loads of money this Q4, make sure you're ready. You know, I ended up putting this invisible pressure on myself, thinking that I had to make money ASAP and I had to really take advantage of this period, right? So me now putting this pressure now, I started just basically spending loads of money on advertisement, trying to test loads of different angles, different ads, because for you to increase your marketing budget, you've got to make sure you've got enough creatives that can hold up that budget, basically, right? If not, you're just basically fatigue your creatives quickly. And as well, you need obviously more creative diversity, right? You need more creatives to test. So anyways, like me and my, you know, new store with my, you know, minuscule budget ended up just, like trying to just force it and spend loads of money on advertisement. But instead of making money in this Q4 that everyone speaks about, I instead just started losing loads of money. Like literally I was losing hundreds of pounds a day in negative, like not on ad spend, in negative, so out of profit, right? So actually in a minus. And that ended up happening for almost like a week or two non-stop. I was just losing money. I was just forcing it. I didn't take the foot off the gas, and I really should have just humbled myself and just, you know, took a step back. However, I didn't, and that really contributed into a lot of the marketing budget that I lost, to a point where I financially couldn't keep going and obviously run myself, because it was the only income coming in from the store itself. So it really put me in a very financial insecure situation, and that kind of contributed. It wasn't the main contribution, but it did, in a sense, you know, contribute, and there was a domino effect. So anyways, to share that story, to say, listen, the biggest thing I learned was don't watch what other people are doing. You're in your lane, you're in your part of your journey, and other people are way ahead than you. They've got more experience, maybe more capital, they might have access to a credit line, you know, you don't know their situation. To say that, whatever it is anyways, to say that like you can't watch others, like stay in your lane, you know, be patient, your journey is your journey. And I should have stayed humble and just enjoyed the process, you know. But a lot, as you know, I share a lot of stuff about dealing with like internal work, dealing with a lot of work I've got to deal with within myself. And of course, I've said this already, but you know, I was trying to run a business on a survival mindset, on fear, on scarcity, on a lot of things, and that, you know, ended up impacting, you know, my mindset, my emotions, my attitude towards just business in a whole, in these things, right? So yeah, man, like obviously I've shared a lot about that, but you know, I'm on this journey, and now I understand that I have to be patient, and you know, I have to keep believing, I got to keep focusing, and just and take my time with it, essentially. Anyways, I don't want to bore you with all that stuff, but you get what I'm saying. So I just wanted to share that because that was, you know, we are in Black Friday today. Anyway, so for the new store, so I've just got paid today, yeah. And I've said this already, you know, like I've got issue with cash flow. I don't really have a lot of money as I'm using my 9 to 5, and I really don't get paid well at all at my job. I'll be real. I saw my paycheck today. I was like, God damn, not like this, not like this. You know, in the Matrix film, it was like, not like this. Like, honestly, like, yeah, it's not the one. However, we gotta make it work. You know, I was watching something from Mark Builds Brands. He's a YouTuber, and he was breaking down risk, and he was saying there's a difference between passive risk and active risk. And the active risk was like taking action, right? So the risk of like maybe losing money, or a business not working, or store not working, whatever it is. And then he was saying that there was passive risk, and passive risk is the risk of not taking any action, right? So staying in your position, you know, or making change. And he was basically breaking down that risk is way higher than active risk. You know, the risk of staying in the same position and never knowing your full potential, what you can do, is more riskier than actually taking a risk where starting a business, you know, investing, you know. Yeah, it might sound risky, but at the end of the day, it's like, I've said this before, but it's like, it's either that or you stick to the situation you're in, right? So I know my situation now, and I'm not happy of the situation I'm in. So of course I'm gonna take that risk. You know, I know what's on this side, you know, and I know that on the other side as well. Like, that's what I want to work. So obviously I don't know how long this journey will take, but I already know this side. I already know what position I'm in now, and this is not it. So yeah, like, I'm down to take that risk. But of course there's risk, and then there's like other things you gotta consider, right? Obviously don't go broke, don't go homeless, don't get super financially insecure like I did. But yeah, like, you can take calculated risk. Anyways, been dragging that on as well. However, yeah, so my point is to say that I got paid and I've made another order. Yeah, it sounds mad that, you know, I haven't proven the concept, I haven't sold any products. However, hear me out. The samples that I received, that I distributed to creators, they've already gave me a lot of feedback and said, you know what, honestly, it's really helped them. Yeah, it's still not a lot. It's only 4 or 5 people that have given me good feedback. However, the manufacturers / suppliers that I've been working with supply for 2 other brands. So I'm aware of their materials, right? And their product quality. And those brands have already proven that concept in that sense. So that gives me a bit of peace of mind, because I know I'm not a product first business, right? I'm not presenting a new product to the market. So I'm competing on marketing and price, right? That's the reality. So as long as I dial down on my marketing and I see where the gap is in the market, and that's essentially what I've been doing all this time, is learning completely about my marketing position, the customer's desires, their pain points, you know, their language, everything about them, understanding what the other competitors are missing out on, and basically trying to capitalize there. And there's ways you can do that is by, you know, maybe it could be changing the mechanism of the product. It could be maybe increasing the value by adding different add-ons to the product to make it better. So maybe competing on offer. And then as well, markets, you know, something that might be doing very well in America, you could take it to maybe a country where they're not selling it. You know, like a lot of people have been talking about European countries. And you can maybe take it to a European country where, you know, people are not picked up on that product yet. And you can capitalize like that, right? So there's loads of little ways. And essentially, I've done my research, and I've tried to, I'm obviously position myself to enter UK market for now. So yeah, so anyways, to say that, I kind of went off one. To say that, yeah, like, I've done the research. I know competitors have got the same product, it's just different branding, different marketing. So that gives me that peace of mind. Because, and as well, like, you know me already, I'm on this journey of like frequency of abundance, and I've got to remove that scarcity mindset and be like, you know what, Zach, this is gonna do well. You need to start forecasting from when the stock goes. And you already know I only ordered 100 units already, so I've ordered another 100 units. Financially, I couldn't afford to pay all of it, so I just messaged my supplier. I said, listen, I really want to build a long-term relationship and partnership with you lot. If you're open to it, like yeah, can I pay you 50 50% deposit now and I'm 50% after production. And he said, yeah, like he's down for it. So yeah, man. So I've ordered another 100, and I just want to be ready because, as you know, people, it takes 30 days for production. Then it takes, if I wanted to go by sea, another 40 days. So that's 70 days. You know, really, realistically, you can't run a business like that. So I've already spoke that there's options of doing sea shipment that will take it down to 12 days. So that will take you, say, 45 days in a whole. Still very long. However, we've got to work with what we've got to work with. Hence why I'm trying to order already before the first stocks come, because I'm like, you know what, Zach, you need to forecast like this first 100 is going to fly, and if it does fly, you know, what can I do with my situation realistically to prevent not being out of stock, worst case scenario, for too long. So based on the maths and the breakdown, like getting this 100 now, forecasting for that will save me a bit. Next plan is, as you know, the products normally are sent to my house, and the whole idea was to have more control, to have more creative control in dispatching with creators and content as a soft launch. As well, just for the experience, I can offer obviously 3 days shipping directly from the UK to the UK. However, of course, long term it wouldn't make sense. I don't want to be shipping forever. So the next step that I was looking into, and I'm going to speak to my dropshipping agent that I used to work with on my other store, is to figure out if I get production time to 30 days, right? And instead of me waiting another 15 or even, 40 days by sea, right? I'll just order in bulk, for example, and send it to my shipping agent. So we did the math before and it didn't make too much sense financially. However, I'm going to revisit it again, because if, for example, if I don't need to pay for the shipping, I don't have to wait 15 days, or should I say 40 days, you know what I mean? One, it's going to help me with projections for, you know, making sure I'm not out of stock. And two, it will help me with cash flow. Because as you know, with dropshipping, your dropshipping agent will ship it for you and will only charge you per order. So only when you get an order will you pay your agent for the fulfillment from their center, right? So instead of me paying for 100 units to my property or 200 units, whatever, I'll just pay by one. As well, my agent, we have a good relationship because we worked last year. She'll send me the invoice a month later, you know, for all orders. So again, that helps me because I've already built that relationship, and I should leverage that, right? So I know from experience, like I have to ask her sometimes in the past, but sometimes she'll leave the invoice to pile up for like a month and a half, but she trusts me, right? So that's good in that sense, where if we can get the margins right and she can ship them to my customer, yeah, it'll be maybe 7 to 10 days. It's not the best. However, like, we'll get it fulfilled, so I won't have to be hands-on again. 2, it'll help me with cash flow. And 3, it just, growth-wise, you know, productions in China, agents in China, it's just easier than having it all fulfilled by me. Like I said, financially in the beginning, it just made sense, and to have a bit more control for the first lot, and I'm glad I'm still happy with that. However, moving forward, I've got to think about that. So anyways, that's just my thought process. Nothing's been solidified. The order's been made, so that's done. I'm still also contemplating if I should get more, but then again, I don't have money, so I'm trying to find a way. But that's something again to project once the first lot comes. But anyways, I'm not going to go too ahead, but at the same time, frequency of abundance, people, like, success is inevitable. We're not giving up. Consistency is key, as you know, from the last brand. But yeah, man, people. Anyways, that's just the update. So yeah, stock should land. Spoke to the agent. It should reach the port on the 1st of December. So after you know, it's gone through customs and got to me, I would like to say that it'll be ready maybe like first week of December. And then last of all, for the TikTok shop where I'm starting to build some brand awareness, I've just ordered a t-shirt with my brand on it and I'm going to try to capitalize 2 days from Black Friday. So I'm just going to jump on and shoot some content and say, listen people, it's Black Friday today. As you know, whoever's been following along, the stock hasn't arrived. However, pre-order is still open. If you want to take advantage of the Black Friday offer, I'm going to do a 25% off from the original price. If you order, this Black Friday, this will be on for today or tomorrow, whatever, for pre-order. But I have to make it clear that it's pre-order, so they obviously are aware that they're not going to get it straight away. But as long as I word that properly, God willing, I'll get a head start and get some sales before the product comes. So that would be cool. So I'll grab the t-shirt after work, and then I'll shoot a couple bits on TikTok, and let's see if anyone buys. But that's it, the update, you lot. But anyways, peace and love. I hope you lot have all had a great week and a great month. We're towards the end of the year. But again, thank you for everyone that's been hanging around. If you followed all the way to the end of this video, just leave a comment, because I appreciate everyone that's been around. I've had this YouTube channel for a little while now. Slowly there, but like I'm not really going crazy about subscribers. I just want to document the journey, and whoever's with me with it, I appreciate it. Because but if you have been around, I appreciate it. Just like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll update you lot in the next one. Bless.